In the quiet corner of a small, forgotten town lived an old man named Arthur. His days were long and silent, each one melting into the next. The world he once knew, full of laughter and friends, had faded, leaving behind only echoes in his spacious, empty house. His steps were slow, his hands trembled, and the simplest tasks felt like climbing mountains. He often sat by his window, watching the world go by, a world he no longer felt a part of. Loneliness was his constant companion, a heavy cloak he couldn't seem to shake off. One chilly morning, as Arthur was taking his usual slow walk to the mailbox, he heard a faint whimper. Tucked away in a bush was a small, scruffy dog, shivering and looking up at him with big, sad eyes. The dog had a patch of white fur over one eye, giving him a mischievous look despite his pitiful state. Arthur, who hadn't had a pet in years, felt a stir of something he hadn't felt in a long time: compassion. He hesitated for a moment, then knelt down slowly, offering a wrinkled hand. The dog, instead of recoiling, crawled forward and licked his fingers. Arthur named him Patch. Bringing Patch home changed everything. The silence was replaced by the soft pitter-patter of paws on the wooden floor and the occasional happy bark. At first, Patch was just a creature to feed and care for, but soon he became much more on. When Arthur's shaky hands dropped his reading glasses, Patch would gently pick them up in his mouth and bring them back. When the mail fell from the slot and scattered, Patch would gather every letter. He learned to nudge Arthur's hand when he forgot to take his afternoon medication. It was as if Patch understood, in a way no human could, the silent struggles of his new friend. Their bond grew stronger with each passing day. Patch would curl up at Arthur's feet as he read, providing warmth and comfort. During their slow walks around the neighborhood, Patch stayed right by his side, a furry guardian. He'd bark playfully when children passed by, and for the first time in years, Arthur found himself smiling and chatting with his neighbors, all curious about his clever companion. Patch was a bridge, connecting Arthur back to the world he thought he had lost. One afternoon, Arthur was working in his small garden when he suddenly felt a sharp pain in his chest. He collapsed, his vision blurring. He couldn't call for help. The world was fading to black, but Patch was there. He began barking, a frantic, desperate sound that was unlike his usual playful yaps. He ran to the front gate and back to Arthur, barking relentlessly. A neighbor, hearing the commotion, came to investigate and found Arthur on the ground. Help was called immediately. Arthur woke up in a hospital bed, weak but alive. The doctors told him that if it hadn't been for the quick response, he might not have made it. And that quick response was all thanks to Patch. When Arthur finally returned home, the first thing he saw was Patch waiting anxiously by the door, tail wagging furiously the moment he saw him. Arthur knelt down, ignoring the ache in his joints, and hugged his little hero tightly. Tears streamed down his face, but this time they weren't tears of loneliness. They were tears of gratitude. In that quiet corner of the town, an old man and a scruffy dog had found each other. They had saved each other. Patch gave Arthur a reason to wake up each morning, and Arthur gave Patch a loving home. Their story is a beautiful reminder that sometimes the most profound connections come in the most unexpected forms, and that a little bit of kindness can truly change a life or even save one. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more heartwarming content.